Howdy folks, so continuing on with the theme of minor blues that we looked at in the last lesson, we're going to do some more minor blues and talk about soloing approaches to that using other ideas, ones that we didn't cover in the last lesson. So what I'm going to do is break down the video at the start, and we're going to talk about all the individual parts and talk about why I did them, the way I did them, what I was thinking. And that should give you a good idea of how you can apply these things yourself. Because the most important thing is what's going through there rather than what's going through here. It's the thinking behind it. And that's what, when I listen to players playing, I always think, what are they thinking? Why are they doing that? That's what I want to know. Rather than what are they doing, why are they doing it? So I go through a fair bit of it here. The rest of it I'll go through over on the Patreon channel. So if you click the link below, you can get through and look at that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, really helps the channel. So let's listen to the first little section. Okay, so that was the first section. So let's talk about what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is this. Why am I doing it? Okay, why am I doing it is because I'm walking into this A note, right? It's an A minor blues. The first chord is A minor. So I'm just targeting that A note. All right? And I'm doing it with, I'm trying to put dynamics into my playing. So I'm muting here with the back of my hand. Doing that. So 7, 5, 7. So 7, 5, 7. And then just a hammer on. So we've got, and that comes in on the and of 3. So what I mean, it'll go 1, 2, 3. That's a really common place to start phrases on the and of 3. So we've got, all right, so I've got a bend there. So in A minor pentatonic, yeah, position 1, nice and straightforward. So that bend, I'm bending up to the E. Now the E is the 5th in the key of A minor, so it's a chord tone, so it's going to work. All right, so 3 bends. Important those bends are accurate, and then I'm putting vibrato on the top of the last one. That's kind of a bit tricky, putting vibrato on the top of the bends, because it needs quite a lot of control, so that's something you need to work on. Vibrato, I tend to do it off that part of my hand here. Is acting like a pivot or a fulcrum, if you like, on the edge of the fretboard. Yeah, to allow me to give it vibrato. So the second phrase is. So this is really important. A very common facet of blues playing is that you've got this question and answer thing going. So my second phrase is very similar to my first one, but with a slightly different ending. Okay, and the second one is ending on the A note. The first phrase ended on the E note. So there's no tension in the first phrase really, but that E note isn't as consonant, right, as the A note. So it's a little bit more resolution in the second phrase. Now the next chord coming is D. So I want to hit that. So now I'm going to go. So it's exactly the same phrase, right? But instead of playing off these strings, I'm now on these strings. So it's at the 4th higher, yeah? Because I'm on the 4 chord. All right, exactly the same phrase, ending on that D note. Vibrato again. This part here, I'm pulling down. Okay. So let's watch the video again to get the next part. So you can see what I'm doing there is this. So it's exactly the same as the first phrase, but instead of starting on this note, I'm starting on this note. So it's the same phrase, but 2 strings down, if you like, which is at a 4th higher. And I'm ending on this D note here. Then I'm going. And why am I doing that? I'm not thinking pentatonics anymore. I'm thinking that's D. It's D minor. That's the minor 3rd of the D. So I'm going to hit the minor 3rd. I know that's the 2nd. I know that's the 1st. So I'm thinking intervallically. Right? It's got to sound good because you're following that chord. So let's listen to the next part. So the next part is just mirroring the first bit. Because we're back to the A chord, right? So now I'm thinking what's coming next? It's the F chord and the E chord, right? So what I'm doing over that is I'm just following the F chord up here. So I'm thinking root note. Now I know that's the major third. I know that relationship between this note and this note. I know the relationship between this string and this string, if you like, and I know that gap there is a major third. So, and then, so that's over the F. Then it goes down a semitone to the E, because we've got F major, then we're down to E7. So I'm playing the major third of the E and the E, right? So that's that bit. Let's listen to the next part. So the next part is, right, so I'm just bending up to this A note here, right? So all these bends, they're not just random. I know where they're going to, right? I know the notes they're going to. Then the last part, over the E note, I'm thinking A, the minor third of the A, and then the E note. I mean, you could look at this as I'm going from pentatonic position 3 to pentatonic position 1, but that's not what's going through my head, and this is an important thing. I'm thinking A, minor third of A, and on the E, I'm hitting an E note. This is the important thing. Thinking about these intervals, see, allows me to follow the chord. So that's the first 12 bar progression. So the important thing over all this, there's a reason for everything I'm playing. All those notes I'm playing, I'm not just noodling randomly in A minor pentatonic. I'm always targeting something, right? And when I'm targeting something, most of the time it's the root note of the chord that I'm over, okay? Sometimes it's the minor third, as in that minor third there. I could do it there, right? Sometimes it's the flat 7. But those are the main notes to target. Root notes, thirds and sevenths. So in this case, it would be root, minor third, flat 7th. Those are the most important notes in the chord. In fact, the third and the 7th are more important than the root note. They give the chord its character, if you like. So you really need to outline those notes. Now, to start off with, that might be a bit daunting because you're thinking, God, I've got to find out where all these notes are. How do you do this? Well, the one thing you need to do is be really aware of where the root notes are. So you kind of plan things out a little bit. Think, well, there's an A there, there's a D there, there's an E there. Okay, so I've got that little map planned out. Oh, I've got another map there that's similar. Look, A, D, E, right? That's planned out. And then you've got to understand where the thirds and the 7ths, or the minor thirds and the flat 7ths, are from those root notes, right? So from the A, just do it simply like this. A, the minor third is 3 semitones up. The flat 7 is 2 semitones down, right? So you could just target those. So a line might be minor third, flat 7, root for the A, and then on the D, minor third, flat 7, root, okay? But that would be the same for this A, minor third, root, flat 7. There's minor thirds. We don't have to always go to a minor third. That note is the same as that note. You know, there's lots of them you can find, but don't find them all. Just find that one to start off with. Now, careful when you go to the F, because it's a dominant 7th chord. Yeah, we talked about this in the last lesson. It's not a minor chord. So the major third is now not three frets in front. It's 4 frets. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's this. Okay. So F, major third of F, E, major third of E, back down to that A minor chord. So it's really important that you understand the chords, you understand the chord's intervallic structure. By that I mean a minor chord is 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, right? And you've got A minor and D minor. And you understand that a dominant 7th chord is 1, 3, 5, flat 7. And that in those chords, The important notes, the most important notes, are the thirds and the sevenths. Then the roots, then the fifths, really in that order. Target those. Think about where you're bending to. Think about putting all those little nuances on, and you'll be playing like a god. Okay? Please remember to subscribe. Thank you.